There it
Hey,
is.
everybody. Welcome back to the Teacher's Break Room with Jay and Nichole from TCAC, TCEC. Just
Oh,
kidding.
wow. Come on now. He
So,
knows that pushes my button.
oh, yeah, I'm a button pusher today. Boop, 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 boop.
I
What's up,
think we should
Nicole?
tell people I think we
Oh,
should let people know that the reason why the tone has changed on the last couple of podcasts is because we're not doing them in the morning. Is that we're at the end of our teaching night.
right. Yeah, we're
The
too
word
busy in the
rummy comes
mornings
to
for the
mind.
summer. Right. Punchy.
Our we're half baked at this point.
Right.
Oh my gosh. What's going on? You and I are really busy, not just teaching, but ooh, that made me think, people are gonna get mad at me because I like to stop my sentences a lot when I have a lot of things going on in my head. I have picked up
Yes,
students.
we had a comment on that a long time
I know we did. And I'm like that because I have a lot of things firing at once. But
ago.
I don't do that in class though, ironically. Um, I have picked up students. So woohoo. I'm all of a sudden just getting like a million trials. I just got like two more that booked.
Oh, wow.
I know I've done like four in the last, what, 3 days?
And
So
nobody I
be careful
sent
what
you
you
is
wish
panned
for.
out, right? Nobody I sent you is panned out.
No, I thought I would
Sorry.
like bagel. I still love
Ah,
this
me
name.
too. Yeah, it cracked me up. She just totally panicked in my so I
Oh,
sent her
she
to
did.
you.
It was so. You know what's funny about that? Mom mentioned that and she actually felt terrible about it. She's like, I felt so bad. And I'm like, it's okay. It happens. I'm like,
No,
seriously.
you told her it was okay with me. It didn't bother
I
me at all.
did. I'm like, me and Jay are pretty close. Like, it's fine. He wasn't upset. He was actually just more concerned that, she finds a teacher that she likes and that works for her. It's
Right.
okay. I told her it's happened to me. I've had a kid completely just like no matter what I did, just completely just lost it. And I was like, okay, this is not gonna work.
So y'all, Bagel was a student that Supermom referred to me. And
Yep.
she was at the very bottom of the age that I would accept as a student. She's 4. She's a very young 4, and she's not ready for online classes. She's just not ready.
I mean, I told mom, I said, if you really want them, I would do them. And I have never, oh, my fan is showing up in my thing. I have never offered um 15 minutes. But for this one, because I actually liked the parents and I really
Right.
did like the kid, I told her, I said, I was willing to take the 30-minute class and break them up into 15-minute chunks for like the first month to see how she did.
Mhm.
And if it was a no-go, then like come back in 6 months or come back in, when she turns 5.
Right.
Um, she's right on that cusp where
She
she's
just
interested, but man, was it hard to get her to 20 minutes. I mean, like right at like 17 minutes, you
I
could
was like
tell it was shut down mode.
at like 12 minutes, man, she just hit panic button and and she wouldn't stop crying. And then,
Oh,
that hysterical crying where you just nothing you can
oh,
say or do,
yeah.
but you're trying. Hey, Bagel, look at this, look at that. It's just,
Yeah,
she's
I got her to
uh,
17 and then we stretched it to 20 and then it became hiding her face in mom's shoulder and stuff. So I talked to
right,
mom the
right.
last 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, I could do this, but it brought me back to like when I first started. This is gonna drive me crazy. Hold on. Gotta put that out of the there. Oh, it's gonna catch. Is it gonna keep catching? There it
Yep.
is. Anyways, I'm gonna have to move it over there. But when you first started, you get that first influx, and I had all those preschool kids like years ago. I still have
Mhm.
most of them, but they're all like almost in middle school now,
Right.
in high school. But wow, that was like the way back machine where I was like, whoa, I can't believe how energetic I had to be for those classes.
Right. Right.
Like, there's a reason why we don't really want to do anybody under 6. You know,
Yeah. I like 7
5
is
is like
fine.
I'll do 6,
7,
but like an advanced 6, the 6-year-olds that
Right.
are already, pretty much know how to read already, are a little more curious about the world. Those 6-year-olds I'm okay with. 5 is pushing it, man. 4 was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, dude, come back when she's 5."
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I
Cute kid
remember
though.
a long time ago, somebody brought a 2-year-old to class. This is when I was working for schools. 2-year-old. She said, Mom's just like, I just want you to talk to her. I'm like, do you know how hard it is to just talk for 25 minutes to a 2-year-old?
No.
I, I started reading NFL.com to the
That's
baby.
That's hilarious. I love this so much. That was so funny. I did take one that was really young one time, but that was because I was already teaching the sister who was kind
Right.
of young, and it became like is like the sister had her class, and then the
Hmm.
younger sister had her class, but it was kind of them together, so it was extending the other one's class.
Right.
And mom did that on purpose too, so that way, like the older one could have a little bit extra time, but she really couldn't do 50 minutes. The other one had a little bit of a shorter time. It
Right.
worked.
Yeah.
It
All
worked.
right.
I mean, like, but who knows? So Jay, what have you got for us today?
We had somebody left a comment on one of our reels, one of our shorts, and I want to highlight it because it was a very nice comment. Let me
Yeah, it
do a
was.
little screen share action here. That's what I say in class. Screen share action. I am who I am, and
The
I'm not
share
any
of the
different
screen.
in class. I'm not any different in class. So here, Milestones and Memories says, what a fantastic site. I know, dude. You're my go to place for listening to TEFL news at the moment. A question: I'm currently teaching voluntarily 3 students and enjoying the sessions. I want to move to paid work, but I see on my timeline hundreds of companies looking for teachers. Here's a hint: they're not looking for you. It becomes overwhelming. I know you did a review on Amazing Talker and others. Maybe you could do an episode helping newly qualified teachers move forward on this. Thanks and keep up the good work. I'll spread the word of your site. So,
This was a super cool review. I mean,
yeah.
I gotta admit that was really nice. He took some time to really write that. I thought that was really cool of him.
Hmm.
But it begs the question: we have spent a lot of time talking about like tech equipment, the different
Hmm.
platforms we've used, and he's right. We kind of did gloss over the super newbies, like the ones who
Right.
have like freshly minted, TEFL certificate for 120 hours, and I'm
That
ready to teach.
that took
You
two
know,
hours to do.
right?
Yeah.
Groupon, y'all. Groupon.
Does that even still exist?
Yes, it does. I've
Really?
gifted some of those Groupons to people for those.
Really?
I have. If you do them, you can get like 12 bucks,
Hmm.
and it's legit, and you can, they actually give you some stuff. I mean, it makes you think a little bit. I don't think it was wasted time, but I don't think it was anything that actually like massively improved my ability to teach.
Right.
Eh,
Yeah.
the one I did, I think it was, what was it? Oh my goodness, what was it? So long ago. TEFL Full Circle was the one for my actual. I got like 180-hour one or something. I did some extras. And they gave me some stuff. They actually gave me like a couple books and stuff that that were pretty interesting. It gave me some extra ideas and thoughts. They did make me do an actual practum, that I had to work out an entire lesson plan, and they did read it over and critique it. So I mean, I was kind of shocked. I don't know if they still do that. That was a long time ago, but
I did mine at International Open Academy. That's the Groupon one. I paid like $8 for it. Took
there you
me
go.
3 hours to do.
Well, and then I've got like Premier TEFL, I think, and I got a couple other certifications. I mean, but he has a point. What should the brand new, freshly minted teachers do? Now, I think we should talk about 2 different levels of teachers, though.
Well,
Is he there's the ones that have college degrees and the ones that don't,
right.
or only have the 2-year degree, not the 4-year bachelor's, because
And
that
well, I
makes a
think we
difference.
also need to kind of define what really is a newly qualified teacher.
Yeah, there's that too. You wanna stop screen sharing for a second so they can see our big, beautiful faces? I'm terrible. Um, I know, right? Well, like I said, I think there's different groups. So you know, there are places that take you without a college degree. Okay, let's just be real. That's just there's that level of teacher. I don't consider that really a teacher, more of like a conversationalist or maybe help.
You know what? I'm going to be straight here. I don't think doing what we do requires a degree. I'm going to be really honest here. It re, Especially teaching kids, I don't really think it requires a degree. Requires some common sense.
Mm.
Um, it
I think it
requires
requires more of like ability.
right, right. Personality goes a long
Mm.
way.
I
Um,
started as a homeschool teacher as an adult. I mean, I used to tutor actually as a teen, but funny enough. But, I started as a homeschool parent and I homeschooled 2 of my 3 children. I homeschooled all 3 of them, but 2 of them all the way through high school and they have high school homeschool diplomas from me, which is allowed in the United States. And so, I started my journey that way and I agree. I think it depends on personal ability. I also come from the background that I do believe that there are many jobs that you can learn through experience and being self-taught. Like, internships like back in the day, right?
mhm.
So I do think what we do can be learned.
Yeah.
And then if you choose to apply yourself, you can go above and beyond that and become an innovator and, create
I,
materials and dig
I,
deeper.
I, I don't think that as a inexperienced teacher, I don't think you could jump right into being a private teacher.
Nope.
I think
Absolutely not.
I think you need to cut your teeth in the variety of online schools. Uh,
Ah, but what variety of online
right
schools, though?
now, I would. He specifically mentioned Amazing Talker. I would stay away from them. I would stay away
Ripley,
from Preply. italki is another one.
Verbal
Any
Planet,
marketplace. I've heard of that one, but I never.
and then was that
I don't.
Outschool? Like all of those
Yeah,
marketplaces, I feel
yeah.
like these are for people who have some experience under their belt because you
They got
know
some
how
street
to.
cred. You got to get some street
Right?
cred.
Right. Well, first of all, you need your own materials and
Right,
you have to know how to teach them,
right.
right? You also need to be able to learn like the different ways of teaching students, how to interact with the parents, how to understand the nuances of this just translated really crappily and they're not actually being this rude to me. You know?
Right, right.
there's there's a whole entire series on that, I think. Um so yeah, but I think brand new teachers need to go and just do their dues on some of those websites that just hire you straight out with a TEFL.
Mhm.
I mean, just like well, I used to work at actually what was that ABC 360, but that doesn't exist anymore. It's under the Landy, I think Landy umbrella. What's another one like English Ninjas? That's one.
Wales
Um,
English,
Whales, Palfish.
Hellfish, 5-1 Talk,
Mm-mm.
VIP Kid, all those.
You know what? Even Cambly and Native Camp, I mean, of
You know
course, some of
what?
them have requirements.
Right. But man, as crappy as Cambly is, and it's
It's
a
crap.
big steaming
Pile.
pile of, I want to
Doo-doo.
say it, but I'm not gonna.
Doo-doo.
PG 13, PG
Doo-doo.
13, right? Um, but they are incredibly difficult for people to get hired at. People wait
Uh,
months to get
yeah,
on.
they do, which is strange for the amount of pay that you get, but yeah, you do. But the nice thing is if you do get hired on, even though the pay is not great, it does give you kind of an outlet to look at different types of prepared material to kind of cut your teeth on. So, um, so yeah, Lingo Ace. That's one.
There you go.
Uh yeah, so I would go to these places, but definitely have your resume nailed down completely. Make sure you have your teacher pictures, okay? Have a couple variety like have like 2 or 3, ready to go. Um And you don't have to pay to get them done. You can do like a selfie on the white wall and just go to Canva and remove pay 1 month of Canva and remove the background and make it fun. Or like us, we're in the Philippines, so it's cheaper for us just to go down to Joe Schmo and let him do some editing. You
Right.
know? Let me think. Resume, that one. Oh, your videos. Now, I have like I think about 4 videos I rotate, and I update them about every 2 or 3 years, to be honest, but, um, go and look for, like, a generic video, try to have a shorter one and then a little bit one that's a little bit longer, just put it on YouTube so that way you can most of them let you copy the link and paste it in, so it's ready to
Right.
go. Do some basic editing, a lot of those editors are free. I mean, nothing spectacular. Every teacher is doing it on a shoestring on their own. Like
Mhm.
everybody's got the self-done video. Um, I will warn you, a couple of the schools are going to be a little bit more persnickety about the video. And that's why I say have 2 versions. Have a really short one that's under 2 minutes, and then
Mhm.
the other one can be like around the 3-minute mark. Minute and a half, I think. Minute and a half to 2 is what I always did. What else do you need? Can you think of anything else that you need to know?
We're gonna go back to the
TEFL,
basics. Yeah, you got to get the TEFL, and guys, man, I'm gonna tell you,
Groupon.
go
There's
get the
Groupon it, man.
cheapest and quickest one you can get, because
Yep.
the thing is not worth the paper that it's printed on. It's not.
Absolutely not.
There's
And
no
everybody requires it.
centralized. There's no centralized accrediting authority. It's a it's you gotta pay the money to get it. Just pay the least amount and do it as fast as possible. I learned absolutely nothing from mine, but of course I did it in 3 hours. 120 hours or 140 hours, whatever it was. I don't remember.
Yeah, I
Um,
like it was nothing earth-shattering. I mean, the one I did, like I said, it didn't have terrible information. I mean, it had pretty decent information, and I had to take a quiz like every unit. Um, and I did
yeah, I
read the
did
stuff
too.
because I wanted to know. But it wasn't anything earth-shattering, but somebody who's never had any experience. See, I already had experience teaching,
Right.
so, and because I owned my own preschool and after-school program in the US already before I moved here online, so I had already teaching, so I did nothing was earth-shattering for me, but, you know, if you're gonna do it, you might as well read it and see what you can get from it. YouTube, that was the one I forgot to mention. Before you do a school, YouTube it.
Right.
There's a ton of creators that will tell you what you need to know, what the school offers, right? Just make sure it's something within the year that you're doing it in.
And I'm going to throw in there something that I always throw in there is make sure your computer doesn't suck.
Oh my gosh,
Wear headphones.
noise canceling.
Well, I mean, they don't have to be noise canceling. Well, if you're talking like active noise canceling, they don't have to be that. I mean,
No, 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 no,
I
no. I
use
meant like
these.
like the general because there's like the ones that are like the old school headphones that some people have and it'll pick up everything under
Mhm.
the sun. And then there's but you know what? If you're using, for example, if you make a video, use the free Zoom account to make your video because Zoom
Right.
has a built-in noise canceling, right?
Mhm.
Things like that. Those are like the little tricks that you use.
And obviously make sure your internet's okay, and
Yeah, that.
it doesn't require the fastest internet in the world. what it requires is a stable connection. You would much rather want a stable 10 megabit connection rather than a ultra fast but not very stable gigabyte connection. You know, uh,
Do we
I'm
wanna go
lucky.
down that rabbit hole?
I didn't even want to bring it up. I didn't even want to bring it up.
Yes, make sure your connection is stable because trust me, a lower speed with 0 packet loss, less jitter, and good stable connection is a lot better than the big bad boy that does nothing.
Now, I will say that I have super fast internet that's very stable. I never have any problems. Nichole does. Same company too. Same company.
Yeah, where I'm at, it's just
Right.
complete junk. And everybody here knows it, so that's why you only use it here if it's the only one available. As soon as it's not, I'll
Right.
be off. But I use Starlink, so I have my satellite. Um,
Um,
yeah,
oh,
so
microphone.
internet, microphone. Depends on the unit. If you're using a Mac, I've
Right.
learned I don't need this with the Mac or the
Right.
external camera.
Yeah. If you're using, some laptops have better microphones than others. And
Mhm.
if your laptop has a good microphone, you don't need to worry about it. Like if you use it any MacBook, or if you're crazy enough to teach from an iPad, those microphones are fine. um, but if you're teaching on like a Windows laptop, man, it's like 50-50 on those. It's really
I would say just don't even play with it. Just make sure you have a good microphone with your headphones. Usually
right.
your headphones will come with a decent microphone. I
Yeah,
would say get a microphone with an actual boom,
right.
you know,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
the cotton on it, just get the
Right.
boom one. I've learned that the booms that are flexible actually work a lot better because you can move it as you need it for
Uh,
your positioning.
I I teach with Apple AirPods, but I use my laptop's microphone. But right now I'm using this for the podcast. But I will switch my microphones so people can hear the difference. Hold on. Stand by.
Stand
Uh,
by.
so this
Uh,
is the okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Whoops. Hold on. I
You want me
switched
to
the wrong
flip
thing.
over?
Oh, okay. You hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. This is the MacBook microphone. Um,
I switched over as well. I mean,
yeah.
they're not bad at all. I never
No,
get complaints
they're
on this
fine for
ever.
teaching. Fine for teaching. Here's my AirPods microphone. These are actually you hear me now?
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. And then
Yeah.
this is the podcast microphone. I'm back to the podcast
You
microphone.
just sound cleaner. You don't sound so
Right.
spatial. I mean, that's the
But
difference.
I don't put this thing in front of me when I'm teaching. I put it away.
Me either.
Yeah. Um, and those little things, if you're gonna buy headphones, might as well get a decent set, because I had that Bluetooth set. I finally gave them to my nephew, but I taught from those for 7 years, but I spent some money on them. They were not cheap. They were not cheap. These are actually pretty inexpensive, these that I teach from now.
Oh, I have a whole set of headphones because see, I am Miss Kriput. I am cheaper, cheapson.
Oh yeah.
And I
Oh
will
yeah.
buy like the cheapest ones that are Bluetooth because I don't care about the mic because of the Mac.
Right.
So like and I have had some really good success. So these ones are like super cheap. I think in dollars I probably paid like $4 for these. These work great. They connect to everything. I'm like, seriously, they were on sale, and I paid like $4. They're actually quite comfortable. They're Bluetooth. I use these. These ones went on sale recently too, about $4 as well.
And
I got a
Nichole and I are
couple.
on different ends of the spectrum on this stuff. Um, I I tend to spend more money on that stuff. Um,
Yeah, he does. It's true. We razz each other about it a bit. So there are things that I will pay for, like
right,
the mouth,
the
you
laptop.
know. The lap. Yeah, let's go there, huh? Right, huh? The laptop
Speaking of
became the when I was about ready to just throw everything out the window and set it on fire.
speaking of
Or
laptops, I upgraded mine.
Oh, yeah, that's right. What did you upgrade to, Jay? Inquiring minds want to know.
I you know, I didn't realize how much I wanted the bigger screen. And
Okay, yeah.
so I ended up upgrading to the 15-inch M5. Um, Now, teaching performance wise, I can't tell the difference. I can't, I can't, it feels the same. But I'm going to tell you, I have bear claws for hands, and it's much more comfortable for me to type on.
Mm,
Much easier for me to type on. The screen is bigger. I can, it's actually much easier for me to teach without my external monitor now. It's much easier.
okay.
Um, and plus it came with a bigger hard drive, but I just happened to, I didn't buy it new. It had, somebody bought it and then sold it to a local store a week after they bought it. And I was able to, they took mine as a trade-in, and I got a
Oh,
reasonable price on it. And this was before Apple recently increased their prices. So
yeah, you lucked out, man.
yeah,
For real.
I
I
could
think it was like
probably sell
2
this now.
weeks beforehand.
I could probably sell this now for more than I paid for it because of that.
Probably.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But no, I like it.
Well,
I like
and
it.
now I had a 15-inch. Yeah, my Lenovo was a 15-inch, and I went down. And when I first went down to this 13, man, it was so tiny comparatively. I was just about lost my
Right.
I just about lost my mind. But I also use a second screen. So this is something that a lot of experienced teachers do. A lot of the new teachers don't realize this is a lot of us have the second screen. And wow, does that make a difference when you teach, by the way. So I highly
I mean,
recommend it.
I don't know how you scroll through Facebook when you're in class without a second screen. I don't know. How does anybody do that?
Yeah, right. That, right? Or social media, right? So we have like,
Right.
your teaching screen and then the other screen. But I also like I use Notion, I use like my note system, I have my AIs up, I have all of my other stuff up. So I'm doing actual work while I'm in class, like getting information and
Mhm.
moving things around and pulling it into class. It's much easier to do if you have a dedicated screen for your
Yeah.
teaching only, and then you just have it over there and you bring it over.
You
Or if
know,
you're researching a question while a student's talking, it's not messing up your view while you're
and
doing that.
I joke around about messing around in class, but if you're an independent teacher, when parents message you, you've got to be responsive.
And we respond to them while we're in class, or
Right.
we tell them
I'm in
we
class.
have
Please wait a few
yeah,
minutes.
we have a joke about that. There's the thinkers and then there's the non-thinkers, as in the
Right.
teacher not having there's the students where you have to be actively in class with them, so you
Right.
can't do that, and then there's the students where you're on autopilot and it's not a problem.
Right. Right. We're just going through the lesson. Next
Oh my
page,
goodness.
done.
There
See you
there
later.
are those. Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when you're completely independent, you answer when you're in
Yeah.
class. You learn. Oh, that reminds me. That's what we forgot to talk about. A lot of new teachers don't realize the amount of multitasking you have to do
Oh yeah, absolutely.
when you first start teaching.
Yeah.
And the platforms expect you to be able to do it too.
Right. Right.
How did
Uh,
you handle that?
I've always done that.
I have, but I had what? Oh, Akatsock. That's another one. Akatsock is one of the few that actually give you like the 5 or 3 minute break, and your
Mhm.
notes have to be done before you hit your next class.
Right.
They don't give you till the end of the day or whatever, or till the end of your class. One of them gave you like an hour, but I'm like, well, that's useless if you're teaching classes straight through. You basically got the break, you know.
I
So,
just invited Megan to join us.
oh, did you?
We're
Awesome.
gonna have a guest.
Gonna have a guest. Let's see if she shows up. Um, but yeah, equipment wise, I mean, if you're shoestringing it, it's fine. You know what I had done? I really, really, really wanted a second screen, but it just wasn't in the budget at all. I had an
Mhm,
old laptop that was basically a glorified typewriter.
mhm.
And there's that program. Oh, I can't remember what it's called, but it runs through your router and you can use your wirelessly or you can do it wired, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah, I know
You
what you're
can you
talking
can
about.
use an old laptop as a second screen if you need a second screen. I mean, it's really not that difficult.
Now, what about so somebody just ignored everything we said, where we said, you should go teach on a platform for a while first, but somebody ignores that and said, Jay
Uh-huh.
and Nicole don't know what they're talking about. I'm going to go it on my own. What's their first challenge?
Uh, besides getting students?
That
Um,
that's the first one to me.
yeah, I'm like, getting the students because you have no social proof, like 0.
Right.
Some parents really do their due diligence. I have had parents tell me, "Oh, I saw your Facebook page." I'm no joke. I was like, "Oh, really? Okay, cool." You know, like, "Hey, well, and like my video for like Amazing Talker or Preply, my video is my YouTube video, which has the
Mhm.
YouTube link, so they can find me there, which means they can find me on social media. Oh, hey, she joined. Did you warn her?
I just said, she sent me a message. I said, come on and join us. How you doing, Megan?
Good, how are you?
Good.
We're recording a live podcast. That's not live. I'm kidding. I'm just joshing, but it's still a podcast though.
I was told it was a
Yeah.
podcast.
So we had a guy, I'm assuming it's a guy, reply to one of our shorts, and he asked us to do an episode on what a newly qualified teacher should do to get started. So that's what we're talking about today.
Oh,
Um,
that's a good
and
topic.
yeah, we recommended that uh, they like this is ground zero, day zero. They've never taught anything. Maybe they taught the neighbor's kid to tie their shoes. I don't know. But we recommended starting at a platform.
Yeah, I think
But
if you
not a
taught on kids in
marketplace,
school.
like an actual platform.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, not something like Amazing Talker because they don't have you need to be able to do your own thing there, but
Right.
somewhere like a VIP Kid or a Lingo
Mhm.
Ace or something like that where they give you training and they show you what to do and the classes are there and the lessons are there and their people are there and you just open a calendar and teach. I think if you've
Right.
never taught, that's probably absolutely the best way to get started. And you never know, it might give you a feeding ground for potential leads in the future.
Oh
So,
Yep,
yeah.
right?
100%.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
100%.
Oh yeah.
right?
No, that's the question of how did every teacher go private? Well, let's count the same way we all did.
Right. I don't think Megan did that though. You didn't do
No,
that, but
I
you
didn't. I didn't.
Megan was a proper teacher though.
Oh, yeah.
She's not a hack like me. um, I think yeah, Megan was a proper teacher. But Megan, so let's say somebody ignores the great advice we've just given. They decide to do it anyways, go on their own without any experience. Obviously, the first challenge is how to get students.
Mhm.
So they get some students somehow, I don't know how, but they get some students. What should they teach? What material should they use?
So, absolutely, they should check out Florentis Learning, and, because you definitely wanna use something that's already established, right?
Right,
And that's set up for online teaching. If you're
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to find students, how to teach, how to use Zoom, how to use Teams or whatever all else you're trying to figure out all at the same time, you're best to start with something that you can literally teach lesson to lesson. There's, a placement assessment to help you determine what lesson to put them into. There's feedback forms and templates and everything that can make you look professional with the parents and help you communicate. And so if you pick up something like Florentis and even use the Teacher Hub to manage your business and your students, and then grab your payment platform with Nichole, then you're
bought
sort of
that
all set.
from me. You stole that from me. That was my thing, you thief.
This
you,
is awesome. I'm just
you,
sitting back having fun.
I was going to go. So let's say somebody finds some students. Where should they go? How should they collect payment, Nichole?
Ooh, 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 ooh.
You stole it
TCEC
from me, you
pay.
thief.
Well, no, but this is true though. So Megan has some really great materials. I'll actually agree with that. It's something where you can just you know exactly where you're supposed to go. You just follow right along, and you're getting it under your belt. It's really great. If I remember right, your hub it includes like a calendar and everything in there as well, right? Yeah, so it's
Yep.
kind of like an all-in-one. You only have to learn one thing plus whatever platform you're going to teach on, preferably not Vuv. I had to put that out there. I'm sorry. Oh, um, and then the next problem is going to be payments. And that's like something I do. Uh, if you have students from various parts of the world, sometimes it's really hard to get payments from them, like China. So I do TCC Pay, which allows uh, not parents, woohoo, allows teachers to send out payment invoices and get payments internationally. That's a little bit difficult to do. And it looks more professional. You're not just saying, hey, can you wire me some money? Or, hey, let's do the
Right.
bank to bank and then wait like 5 to 7 days for that to show up, right?
Could you
Um,
Western Union it to me?
right.
And I think
I
that
remember doing that with one student, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie about that. That I did that one time.
Mhm.
But I think that so I remember one of the first students that I found, right? And they actually had been a student that at one point I had taught on VIP Kid.
Okay.
Um, but I hadn't taught them, I taught their older sister. And anyway, and the parent had approached me about this, about their son and wanted lessons. And I was like, yeah, sure. And then I didn't know how to accept payments, right? Like that was my first, I'm like, I can't get money from China.
Right.
And I'm like, oh no, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Well, I must have taught 6 or 8 lessons before I figured it out. So I don't, like, I think that
Oh,
knowing that you can go here and do that. Certainly, when I started teaching privately online, that wasn't an option, right? Like you really had to be able to figure out how to set up your own Stripe account and how to do everything yourself. And
mhm,
so to be able to go to you, Nicole, and just say, hey, I need to figure out payments and have you already have figured it all out for them. And really they just need to follow the process. That's a huge difference in starting. But I wouldn't say, I think you need to make sure you figure out your system first, right? Like, how am I going to get my money? What curriculum am I going to use? How am I going to track this and keep track of what people have done and know where people
Mhm.
are at? Because you might not in the beginning, but at some point you might get an influx of students and be like, I don't remember who Serena is and Veronica is and Steve and Dinosaur and like
right, right, right.
and, and
Right.
like
Well,
and then oh and I have 2 Joes and it's like so you need to be able to track those students and know, oh yeah, this Joe is my level 1 Joe and this Joe is my level 4 Joe, and they're both 6 years old, but they're very different levels. And when I open
Right.
the screen and see my both of them Chinese, see this Joe, that's my level 4 Joe that I'm on this lesson. And so the teacher hub backend, certainly in Florentis, makes that super easy because then you just click the next button. You can also, it shows your calendar. So oh yeah, this is this Joe on this day. You click the button, it opens your lesson. You don't have to look for it or find it or any of those sorts of things. But don't go out and find all these students and then be like, oh, okay, I'm going to do some trials and then not have an answer about how am I going to get
right.
money, right? And what am I
Right.
going to do with them?
How are you going to work out scheduling? But yeah, that all
or
that stuff, when I did it, I never even considered most of it. The only thing I considered at the time was how am I going to get their money?
So
And
I was the opposite. I was like, how am I going to find students?
right,
I
right.
right,
I wasn't stealing them. I was trying to find them. And then then I find them and it's like, oh wait, just sec. I found students who want lessons and I don't know how to get their money.
Does it count as stealing when it was actually technically not me stealing them, but the parent who stole them all for me?
I don't think so. I think that's not stealing.
'Cause that's actually
You
what
say
happened to
you
me.
say you say this like stealing is a bad thing.
Honestly,
Well,
I don't think so from the bigger companies because they have, like, the massive, like,
Oh,
budget for
they would
that.
do it to us in a heartbeat.
they
In a
do it to
They'd
us,
do it.
heartbeat, right?
Yeah.
and on top of that, like I think they sort of just count on the fact that some of these students are going to do that. And
They
really and
expect it, I
truly,
think, at some point.
if they if they were paying teachers better, teachers would be less likely to be wanting to teach privately because it's super convenient to log into your platform and click the button and teach your class, right? You don't have to worry about everything else. But
No
like I
back
said,
end, no
no back,
communication with the parents all day, every day long.
right? Like none of that, but they don't pay well. So, it's a great way to get started and figure out how do I do this and what should I do and what's the best plan. But then you need an exit strategy unless you're happy
Or a
being
funnel
paid by.
strategy.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
That's what it is, it's a funnel strategy.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, no, that's actually what happened with me, yeah, you know what, since, the double reduction, a lot of those platforms were paying pretty good at that
Yeah,
Yes.
you
point.
were getting
Oh, yeah, they used to.
22 to 25 an hour, which
At that time, right?
in the US that's not great money, but when you're living in a foreign country, that's good money. That's good money.
Well, depending on where you lived in the US, that actually was still considered really good money.
Mm.
I mean, I could live back home where I was from at that time at 25 bucks an hour, I'd have no problems.
And I mean, Canadian teachers are paid differently than American teachers, but if you're teaching in a US school, my understanding is you'd be lucky if you're making 45,000. So,
Yeah, we don't make a lot, no.
it's if you take that math and sort of do the math, right? Then that is only like $20, 21, $22 an hour. So, at
Yeah.
one time it was you could actually probably make more before double reduction than they were paying you in a brick and mortar
Well,
school.
I knew some people who were the upper end teachers at certain platforms that were a little harder to get on, and they were making like the $30 mark and above, and that wasn't. It was completely doable. And the reduction was like what end of 2019, I think, is when that happened, or no, beginning, end of 2019, I think. Yeah, I got notice from my company 3 days before Christmas
Mm.
for the next month.
I taught for Magic Years, and Magic Years certainly paid very well, but they paid based on educational qualifications. So they recognized that I had a master's of education and paid more, and experience, years of experience. So they recognized and paid more for that. So I started out like I think a 25-minute class was $12. And then there was all the incentives and bonuses and short notice and all of those things on top of that. So I started out at like 24, 25 US and then got bonuses. So certainly there were platforms previously that were
Yeah,
paying fairly well.
If you want $35 an hour, I can tell you guys where to go. It's an online
private.
platform. You can go check out Coralwin.
Oh man,
I don't
Check them
think I
out.
I still hate that cat.
Or so Coralwin is they are group classes, number one.
They are, yeah.
And we're not talking like two or three kids. There's like
No.
9, 10,
oh,
and you're doing a uh it's mostly KET prep, and the textbooks that their material comes from, they're actually pretty good.
Pretty
Was it
good
Power Up,
actually.
Cambridge Power Up?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
they're pretty
is.
good. But whatever
That's
they've done to the material, it's like the only reason I figured it
terrible.
out is because I'm like, oh, it's the same cat. It's
Cameron,
the same Cameron. That's right.
Cameron.
Cameron.
I teach so many students that power up material after Coral went, and I'm like, how did they mess this material up? Is what I wanted
Right.
to know. Like, it was actually really good. The videos, the audios, everything's really good. Great starting point, but they messed up they butchered those classes. Bad.
But and the other problem that I had with it, probably the biggest problem I had was
Yeah, the
the
maximum
time
time.
of their classes.
Yeah.
They weren't on the hour or the half hour. They were at like quarter after, which you go for an hour. Well, you've actually taken up 3 of my time slots for a 1 hour class. So you're really not, I mean, yeah, you're
Yeah.
making 35 an hour, but you're you lose a 30-minute time slot. So you're not.
Mm.
Yeah, because it was a weird schedule.
Right.
Um, it would be nice if more schools did something like this, but put it in a normal time slot framework.
Right.
That would have worked out so much better. I would have put up with the cat for that one.
But
That tipped
I
me
think
over.
I think like after somebody gets their feet wet for a year or two at these one of
Mm,
these online platforms, you can start branching out, start adding some private students when you can. Um, I would definitely 1,000% say connect with those parents on those
yeah.
platforms. If you're teaching on a Chinese platform, get WeChat.
Yep.
You 100% have to have it. You
And
just have to have it.
if you're doing Taiwan and Korea, line.
Right. Right.
My
And
line
line
still doesn't work.
line is easy to get for those of us that aren't
And
terrorists.
Japan. Actually, Japan as well. And it's a
Megan
Japanese app.
Megan Megan can't seem to have line anymore because she's a terrorist.
How do you get booted off a line? Come on now.
I
I
don't
didn't
know.
need to talk to anyone except the two of you.
Oh, that's right. What
My
did
line
we
account's
say?
fine. How about yours,
I
Nicole?
know, mine's fine. I've been using it for
Hmm?
years. I even had a professional account.
It won't.
Ah,
It will not. I don't know why. It doesn't work.
that's hilarious. Who remembers QQ and Skype? You remember your Skype classes in QQ?
Yeah, yeah. Done
The
lots of those.
old teaching.
QQ, boy, I don't know what happened to that, but I suddenly one day I couldn't log into it anymore.
Same. Like
I
one day they just didn't like me anymore. And I even had 3 of my students from the mainland of China try to reauthorize me and it wouldn't let me at all. I was like,
oh,
"Eh."
dude, I had one of my students, Kingwood, um, was a was a project manager for 10 Cent. He
Okay.
couldn't even get it fixed. He could he said they told me to have you call them. I'm like, do they speak
Yeah.
English? It's not that it's important, but it's not that important. Um,
I lost a significant amount of contacts, but at the time I had
yeah.
already had WeChat though, so it was
The
okay.
the only reason I wanted that account back was because there was a student that she was one of the very first people I ever taught on a place called Jason English. And
Ah,
Jason English?
yes, I do. I had an
Yeah.
account there.
Yeah, I taught there. I was teacher Jefferson. I don't know why they gave me that name, but anyways, I ended up teaching her privately for several years. She finished her bachelor's degree underneath me. She finished her master's, and she was working on her PhD. And she kept chickening out to take the IELTS. She was more than ready, but she disappeared on me. And this is somebody that bought like $2,000 worth of classes from me and only used about $500 worth. She just disappeared one day right when COVID hit, and she was from Wuhan.
Mhm.
And I had no other way to contact her except QQ. So I don't know what happened to her. I have no idea
I
what
don't know. I
happened
have
to
a
her.
feeling that a lot of the foreign accounts got booted because of the double reduction. They were starting to ban teaching classes on those platforms.
maybe,
Maybe, I don't
maybe.
know. But okay, so they need to have WeChat, need to definitely get Line because Taiwan's a great place to field for students, by the way.
Yeah, but you know
Um,
what though? I think it's a very difficult market to break into. I think it's
no, I
very
meant
difficult.
it is. You need to do your due diligence by going to the platforms. I
Mhm.
mean, there's just unless you come in and you just happen to get lucky, some people will go on Little Red Book, some people will go on like Facebook and go into the groups. I mean, if you just happen to be somebody who's really just skilled and really good at being able to market yourself, okay, go for it. But you really need to spend some time, even 6 months to a year on a platform just to understand how it's done, what's
Right,
expected, get used to the multitasking, have somebody hand feed you the process of teaching online,
right,
how to multitask, how to teach the materials. Why why spend the time to try and figure it out on your own? That's literally what I did because I actually owned in the US, I owned my own preschool and after school program. I could teach in person, no problem. Transferring it over to online realm was a little bit like, huh?
right.
So that's the whole reason I spent a year on the other platforms was
And
just to figure out how to transfer the skills over.
and if you wanted like a middle step, start on one of these like regular platforms and then move over. Don't leave your job that's paying you, but
Yeah,
then
no.
open up some hours on like try to get on like Amazing Talker or Preply or one of those because that is a fantastic place to find private students.
Mhm.
Not gonna
Absolutely.
lie.
Absolutely.
Not gonna lie.
And I think it is very much it's that gradual thing, right? Like I still have contracts with platforms. I don't necessarily use them very often, but
Mhm.
You same.
I do have contracts. And if I have Chinese New Year, even the summer where you've got weird cancellations, well, some of those platforms I can jump on and open up short notice slots and still get them booked. And
Mhm.
so might not be the same as what I would normally get, but at least I could fill that slot without really any effort on my part. And I think that it gives you that backup that you can just sort of flip flop back and forth, but it allows you to grow your own business as you are continuing to learn. So,
Yeah, I think people undervalue the fact that you should diversify. So there was a time when the schools were really, really trying to be hard nosed about no, you can only work for us. And yeah, no, especially
Yeah,
after the double reduction, how they screwed all the teachers over. You
mhm.
need to diversify, apply to as many schools as you can, choose who you like the most, keep a lot of them as backups. I mean, you hear me and Jay talking about Cambly and stuff like we have accounts there. That's a backup for like, in case or I have an account on Amazing Talker and Preply and Verbal Planet and a couple others. It's like you don't close them down. First of all, they're great mining fields, but when you've got weird cancellations, like I just went through a rash of nonstop cancellations. I jumped on the platforms and, opened up some slots and filled up some time. Like we all do it.
exactly.
Just the
And I
name of the
mean,
game, right?
it's, yeah, that's exactly it. It is the name of the game, right? Like it is part of what you need to do on a regular basis to sort of keep it I don't know, keep it alive, I guess, right? Like to keep it so that you've got
Mhm.
your schedule booked, you've got the things ability, you've got your ability to
I only have two accounts anymore. I still have my Amazing Talker account, and I do have a Cambly account, but I haven't taught on there in a while.
I only go there enough to make sure it doesn't get closed again. Because one time I was off it for so long, they did close it, and I've learned not to do that. So, I like the doomsday account, that's what I call it. That is my absolute bottom barrel doomsday account. But I have Preply, and I have Amazing Talker, Verbal Planet, I believe. I think those are the main ones that I've got, yeah. I like the marketplaces because, I have a little more control over what I say yes and no to, and I can choose, like, a little bit more, like, what I want to be paid or, if I want to cancel a class, I don't have to ask an admin or something for that, and If I want to reject a class, I can. It just hurts my ranking. It's not a big deal. I don't know. What about you guys? Um, did any of you have any accounts on like an actual like platform? I
I
think a lot of
do.
them require.
I
You
don't.
do?
Yeah. Like I have a VIP kid account still.
Oh,
Really?
really?
Um, yep, and they automatically renew my contract. I don't have to do anything.
I heard they were a major pain in the ass to work for.
Um, I can literally just I don't think it is. I can open times and get short notice and they pay me and yeah,
Oh, wow.
like I still yeah, and they pay weekly.
Oh, nice.
That
Yeah,
is really
That's
nice.
a benefit.
All these, just these Chinese companies, they like to pay monthly, which I hate.
I
I have
know.
always
Monthly
hated
is
that.
yeah, like
I want to buy stuff. Give me money.
See, I grew up with our family always getting paid monthly, so I was kind of used to it.
I've always been paid weekly or every 2 weeks. Um, and I did not enjoy the monthly pay.
It
well,
does take a bit of
they do give
budgeting.
you the option of monthly if you prefer monthly, but you have the option of weekly. So, when they offered weekly, I switched to weekly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If I had a
Absolutely.
choice, I would. Oh, that's another thing is some of the platforms use like PayPal and stuff like that. If they're using PayPal, be aware of the amount of money it is that you're pulling out because if it's under a certain amount, there's usually an extra fee.
All right.
Well, and there's another one, oh, Lingo Ace uses it, and it's really expensive too, like, it actually
Wise
costs
or Payoneer.
Payoneer.
Oh,
I
God.
hate that one. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, I hate
Pioneer.
that.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's so that's part of the reason that I was like, "No, I don't wanna," 'cause I just
I just closed mine. Buyer beware. Payoneer just changed their terms of service and they're now charging you to have the account like a credit
Yeah.
card. Like
Yeah.
they didn't used
oh,
to do that. They're charging you a yearly fee now. So I immediately closed mine.
I remember I had that stupid Payoneer account
Hate
and,
that thing. Oh my gosh.
and I had the debit card. Ooh, that was expensive to use. I mean, you only use that unless there was no other
Dire
money to pull.
straits.
Right. That was expensive to pull money from. Oh
You
my
know,
gosh.
people complain about PayPal, but if you're
I
like
have
me,
no
I
problems
have
with
I have
PayPal.
an LLC, so I pay taxes no matter what, and it's a tax write-off anyway, so I never really worry about my platform fees. But it's reliable, it's stable, you can get your money, it's available in China now. Like
Yeah.
it is what it is and it's international. I mean, yeah, you have limitations. Some people have a harder time using it, but it's stable and it works all the time. So for the places you can use it.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm completely fine using PayPal or TCEC Pay.
TCC Pay, yes. If
They're
you
like,
want lower fees, because it is
right,
lower to do it through me. No, it is.
right,
Um,
right.
because I mean, the one thing that people get really upset about with PayPal is it's not really the fees itself, it's the conversion rate. They will give you the lowest
Though,
conversion rate.
but it's not that much money. I mean,
It's not.
to get burned on a conversion fee, you're going to have to transfer like $1 million. I mean, it's like, you transfer $1,000, you might get $3
But
less.
it is higher though. So,
You sound
people
like the
complain.
lady that computed my permanent rate the other day.
Oh, I play that game. But yeah, I mean, I use PayPal. I have a couple parents that only use PayPal
Mhm.
and Amazing Talker, they pay off in PayPal.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
used to. Phase.
Uh,
All right.
All right. Any
I
other
think
nuggets of wisdom?
mm, I don't know. I think you've I mean, everyone's like, "Oh, find a niche." I don't think that's the case. I think you teach what you teach,
Yeah,
right? You'll see all sorts of videos about that, like, "Oh, you have to do this, you have to do that." Certainly, if you're just gonna say, "I teach English lessons," you're gonna be competing in a vast, vast, like
and
like a
sometimes
pool, right?
your niche gets takes time to develop. You don't really
Exactly.
know when you're starting out what your niche is. You might, I want to teach business English, and then you start teaching business English, and you go, "Oh my God, this sucks." But then you feel stuck to it because that's what you started out as. You feel stuck to it. So, yeah, I've never been a big niche guy,
No, and I mean, you take I mean, especially when you're starting out, I think you take who you can get,
right?
right?
Yep,
Right?
So, you know,
Experience trumps.
yep.
like
So I
you take
guess
who you can get.
you can take who you can get, right? So your newly minted teacher, make sure that you have a decent computer. You've got your webcam, your headphones, your mic sorted out. You need your back end and your material, which would like somewhere like Fluentus. You need to figure out how you're getting paid. TCUC pay. And yeah, because Fluentus will also take care of your calendar as well, which is really nice.
Yep. Yeah, so you can do your
That's
calendar,
really nice.
you
We'll
can
put
do
a
your
link in
leads, you can collect leads through it.
on there.
Yep.
So,
And your calendar works in China too, which is a big deal, y'all, by the way.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
some of those don't work
yeah.
Yeah, some
in
of them
China.
don't. That's a big problem. And then once you do that, my other suggestion was to make sure that you finish off your resume and you've got a couple generic videos up on YouTube ready to go and start applying. Get your feet wet. Let them teach
And,
you how to do it.
oh, and I made a comment about the guy's post. Let me address that. He said, in my timeline or his feed, he says, "I see all these companies looking for teachers," and my response was, "They're not looking for you. Most of them are looking for very low people from countries where the pay is traditionally low." And I will tell you they're looking for Filipino teachers, they're looking for
Yeah.
Indian teachers. Pay is historically low at those
In
places.
certain demographics in South Africa
Right.
as well.
Right. South Africa is another one. They're kind of in between the UK, US, Canada, and the Filipino teachers. They're kind of in between. They're tweeners.
Tweeters.
I've been wanting
That's
to
a good
use
one.
that word all day. All right. That's all I got tonight.
That's all I got. So I guess we're gonna sign off. Say see you later next time. All
Mm.
right.
Don't go